Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today we are sublimating shirts, but we're doing it a different way. We're not using Easy Subli. I like that method, but just in case if you don't want to purchase Easy Subli or you can't get your hands on it, it is a little expensive. You can also use a Subli spray. So I know we have a lot of new people that's into sublimation, so I just wanted to show you a different process, a different method. If you haven't heard of the Subli sprays that you can use, this is one that I picked up off of Etsy. But there's just so many to choose from. All you gotta do is just type in sublimation spray and so many will come up. Read the reviews, pick one, try one, and go from there. But this is called the Sublimate spray. And this was the 8-ounce bottle that I got. It comes with all the instructions. It comes with the wash instructions, everything that you need to press, the temperature settings, everything. You'll mix it with water. They come like this because, of course, it's heavy to ship if it's already mixed with water. Don't laugh at my little hairspray bottle. I need another one. But depending upon the size of the bottle that you purchase will tell you exactly how much water you need to mix it with. So it is a concentrate that you need to add water. This is something that you can use to infuse onto your garments if you don't have a 100% polyester garment or 90% polyester. Of course, the more polyester that you have in your shirts or your garments, it will be more vivid colors. I'll take you through the whole process of how I did it. So these are the shirts that I did using this Subli spray. And it's a few extra steps, but it's something that might be a little bit more economical. And if you have the time to do it, then this might be the route for you. But listen, ain't nothing 1, 2, 3, ain't nothing simple, unless you have a 100% polyester garment. So this is only if you don't have 100% polyester garments, or if you don't have, I would say 75% polyester or better, you don't need this. But this is a 100% cotton t-shirt. But I'm going to show you how you can achieve this look. I have to go back and do the back. These are going to be designs for front and back. So I printed out all my designs on regular A-sub paper. This is the 11 by 17. And this is the front designs. These are the back designs. I'm going to show you step by step how I did it. Go on and like and subscribe to my channel. Now let's jump into the video. Let's sublimate some shirts. So this is my Epson 7710. I converted it into my sublimation printer. This is the ink that I've been using so far. I've been using my printer's jack. I showed it in the video where I showed you how I converted it. This one you do have to use the needles. If you want the full tutorial on how to do that, how to add the sublimation ink, take out the regular ink, you can go and watch that video. I'll have it linked down below. But these bottles they take a long time to use. I'm going to be using the 11 by 17. This is the A-sub sublimation paper. Now, normally I took out my paper. This is the 8.5 by 11. I took that one out. Normally I use that size, but I'm going to try to get as much done as I can using the bigger paper, just to utilize this paper since I have some family shirts to do. And you have to open it up to extend the tray to get to 11 by 17. I already changed my paper size up here. Okay, so I'm sending it to the printer now, and always remember that when you're printing, you want to make sure, at least for my printer, the side that you want your image to print on is on this side. So it's face down for me. And because I'm going to be sublimating, my image is mirrored, meaning flipped horizontally. And that's perfect. As you can see, it is definitely, you can't read it. So that means it's flipped horizontally. So when I press it, it'll come out on the right side. Wow, all of my paper came through the machine. Ooh, thank God that didn't get stuck. Y'all see that? All of the paper came through. Good God. Okay, but at least it didn't mess up. So this is the next one. This is the next one. And I did it this way just to save paper and to utilize, because I use my 8.5 by 11 more. So I can do 2 shirts on one. That's why I decided to do it this way. Basically doing 2 shirts on one. Okay, that's good. The colors might look dull right now, but once you press them, trust me, they will be vibrant. This is gonna be the back of the shirts. I just have one more to do. I'm gonna go on over to the heat press. And here comes the last one. This ink lasts so long. Printer's Jack, I've never had any issues with it. It's great ink. Look at that. There's no smudging, no smearing. You don't have to wait for it to dry when you do it this way, when you print directly onto the A-sub paper. So now I'm just gonna go prep the shirts, and then we're gonna go ahead and press them onto the shirts. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the kids' shirt first, and I'm gonna always pre-press my shirts to get all the moisture out. You only need to do this for about a good 5 seconds or so. Okay, now what you want to do is take your image. I'm going to take my image that I just print out, and I'm going to cut it, of course, because it's 2 images in one. Lay this on the side. Now, this is the size that my image is going to be. So I want to make sure I spray the area where the image is. I'm just going to go ahead and cut this down. Just cut off the excess, so that way I can get a more defined area of where my sublimation image is going to be. So of course I want to make sure it's centered so you can see through it. And that's why I like to cut around it as well. So that's my center, I know, so when I place it down. So I'm going to put that aside for right now. I'm going to put butcher paper underneath. So this one I'm going to lay in between. Because this design, I'm doing an image on the front and the back. And I'm a little nervous because I've never done an image on the front and the back for sublimation. So I want to make sure that it does not go through. Okay, so my image is about that big, and because I had that butcher paper underneath, I know that that's where I need to spray. I'm doing 3 fingers from the top, so I'm going to move this down just a little bit, the paper, just a little bit. My spray bottle is ghetto. My spray bottle comes out so forcefully, so I don't really like it. Because you don't want to soak it. You just want to make sure that the image is, that the shirt is wet, but you don't want to soak it. I'm just spraying the corners, so you see it doesn't go in the shirt. So I'm just going to spray the area that I want. I do not like the spray bottle at all because it doesn't give, like, no matter how much I turn the knob, I'm like playing with the knob. Okay, so I'm going to press this. Now it says to press when you're wetting this for about 30 seconds, only on 330, but my heat press is already set to press and sublimate, so I'm not going to keep changing my settings. But you want to press this for 30 seconds at 330 degrees. You want to do another coat, a light coat this time around. All right, so I'm doing my second layer. You have to press again twice. This one is supposed to be a lighter coat, but I need to make sure I'm getting the whole entire area. As you see, I'm really getting it wet, which I really didn't want to. But, so I'm just gonna press that. Ooh, and that I didn't want to happen. So yeah, I should have used the Teflon sheet. But you wanna make sure it's completely dry. You wanna make sure it's completely dry. That will rinse off, because you will have to rinse these shirts off to get rid of the stiffness. There will be slight stiffness. Okay, so now that my shirt is dry, I have the sublimation spray in the shirt. I'm gonna press like I normally would, making sure it's centered. Okay, top to bottom. Now I'm gonna bring it down. And now my bend that I put in my shirt, which I can hardly see. Boom, there it is. And now I'm just gonna bring it up. All right, and now I'm gonna press. I'm gonna put another butcher paper on top. We don't want any ink, any sublimation ink to come through. And we're gonna press this for a full 60 seconds at 380 degrees. As you can see, my timer is going down. Okay. Take off the butcher paper. Now I'm gonna peel this up. Okay, so that kind of messed up a little bit because it stuck to the top. That stuck to the top, but I'm gonna see if I can fix that. So now I know I need to cover it always. That messed up when it stuck to the top. Okay, so I might do the shirt over if it comes out messed up, if I can't get that out. So I'm just gonna go ahead and press it, the back, just to see. There's a little yellowing on here, but I just want to see how it comes out when I do double-sided, because I've never done double-sided before. So I'm putting a new piece of butcher paper underneath. I probably shouldn't have pressed it so hot, but me being me, didn't listen, because I would have had to wait for it to heat back up. But nevertheless, I am pressing this, pressing the back side so I can see. I don't know why I did that. I need to apply more liquid. So I'm applying more of that. This time I'm going to use my Teflon sheet. It is definitely smoking. I hate that that's yellow. It's not all the way dry yet. I'm going to use a little bit that's left in here. This sprays out much better. Put the Teflon sheet back on. Tuck it in there just a little bit too long. So now you see the yellowing stains. Really good. Nothing on the back, but it's definitely on the front. So for my next shirt, I'm going to have to put something on. I just want to see how it presses with two sides. Okay, let's see how the back came out. This shirt is burnt. The image itself came out really nice, but look what happened to the shirt. I really just want to make sure that nothing goes through. So this is the back of the shirt. And then this is the front of the shirt. But I gotta find a way not to burn the shirt, because I don't know what happened. So I'm gonna turn this off, clean off my heat press, and I'm going to redo the shirt completely. So I want to show you that I did go and wash the shirt out, wet it, because you will have to wet it in order to get out the stiffness, even though these shirts weren't that stiff. But I just want to see if I can get out the residue that was on the heat press at the top. So it's still on there. So I'm gonna go and just dry the shirt so you can see, a much better view of how it looks. But nothing came through. As you see, you can only see through the shirt because it's a white shirt. But none of the back sublimation came onto the front, and none of the front sublimation came onto the back. But I'm gonna go ahead and dry this, and then I'm gonna do them all over the proper way. But I just wanna show you sometimes that, sometimes you have to do things more than once to get it right. So it ain't all glamorous up in here. But I pressed it too hot for the front. So you have to follow the instructions, because I pressed it at the temperature to sublimate the entire time, and I shouldn't have done that. So that's why I got these sort of kind of burn marks throughout. So I'm gonna go dry this, and then we're gonna start all over again and get these shirts right. I'm just gonna go ahead, pre-press it, and take all the moisture out of the shirt for about 5 seconds or so. Right now, to start off, this Subli spray, it says to, after you spray it, pre-press at 330 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm gonna spray the fabric, saturate it with the spray. I'm not gonna spray the entire shirt. I'm only spraying where the actual design is going. I'll spray like the corners to give me a marking, so that way I'll know my borders where to spray at. That's what I do. And now I can spray all along inside that. You want to make sure it is saturated. I need a much better spray bottle, because you want the sublimation to get into the garment. Now, they did have the option when you purchased it, you can purchase it with their squirt bottle, with the exact size, the right size. And I don't know what I was thinking. Time I ordered it, I didn't order it with the bottle, because I was like, oh, I have a squirt bottle. It came and I didn't have a squirt bottle. You definitely don't want to miss spots. You want to make sure it's filled all the way in. It says to press it between the butcher paper. And I'm going to put the butcher paper in between as well. Even though I am pressing the back, making sure the butcher paper is nice and straight. And I'm going to put butcher paper underneath. Okay, so I'm going to pre-press this 30 seconds at 330 degrees. You have to do a second coat. This time I'm going to put a full sheet over it. Pressing again. Pressing again for 30 seconds. You have to make sure it's dry. It has to be dry completely. Has to be dry completely. Now I'm going to go ahead, get that lined up. So now I'm just going to take my design, going to put it face down where I sprayed at, making sure it's centered. Put the butcher paper back on top. I'm just gonna put the Teflon back, but now I have to actually turn my heat press up. So now I have to heat my heat press up to 380. Okay, my heat press is at 380. I'm gonna press it for 60 seconds. Okay. Moment of truth. Look at that. Really nice, really nice. I'm gonna let this side dry before I go and flip it, because I do have to do the back side, so I don't want to risk messing up the back before I turn it to do the other side. So I'll just do the front side of all the shirts, and then I'll do the backs. Remove the butcher paper. I can tell that it's still a little wet. You want to make sure it is completely dry before you apply the design. Has to be completely dry so it can stick down. I feel like it isn't dry. So I'm just going to do it again. Just press it just to speed things up. Press it for like 10 more seconds just to make sure. And now while this is air drying, I got to take the heat press back up. So my heat press is almost back up to 380. So I'm just going to go ahead and line this back up. I'm going to put the butcher paper on top. And I'm just going to go ahead and put this on there as well. Okay, so now I'm going to press it for a full 60 seconds. Okay. And you can tell when it sublimates. This is why you want to put butcher paper over it to cover it, because it will come through. Now I'm going to peel that back. Nice and even. That came off perfect. And that's the front of that shirt. Now again, everything isn't completely dark. The image would be darker. I would like it much more, but this is 100% cotton. 100% cotton. So that's why it looks the way it looks. Y'all can see that smoking. Now you do have to be careful with the back, because I am getting some yellowing on the back. Let me check the back of this one out. It's not too bad, but you got to be definitely careful when you're sublimating and pressing at these high temperatures. So thankfully I have an image that's going on the back of it, and hopefully it'll cover most of that up. But I'm gonna let that cool down. Gonna let that cool down some, but yeah, it's a little bit of yellowing on the back of the shirt. So I gotta figure out how not to get that. It's coming through. And I'm just gonna speed through the rest of the shirts, and then I'll go through and I'll come back when it's time to press the back. So now my hoodies were really hard and stiff. The shirts, I know people wondering when you do this with the spray, is it stiff? And these shirts actually are not stiff at all. Not stiff at all. These are really, really soft. The sublimation is in the garment. It's embedded in the fabric. So these are really good. These come out better than my hoodies, actually. My hoodies are so stiff when I do it. But of course, when the hoodies, when I did it, they're 50-50. So I think, you know, the hoodies just might be, you know, different materials. So that's why it's a little stiffer. But these shirts are actually great. I wouldn't even need to wrench them out at all. But I'm going to keep rocking and rolling. Okay, so I went ahead. Everything is centered, layered, butcher paper underneath. Ready to press. Perfect. Okay, now I just keep checking my back. Okay, so that one is good. In the back. Okay, so this was the last one I just did. This one came out great as well. Now, when you do the back, I'm getting ready to do the back. I'm going to get all new papers. I'm not going to use the same butcher paper. Again, you don't want anything coming through onto the shirts. I don't want that to stick. Even though nothing got on here, I do not want to use the same piece of butcher paper. So I'm going to go back in the same order. Let this one sit and dry. That one came out perfect. No discoloration or anything on the back of the shirt. So these are all the fronts of them. Let's see how they came out up close. This one had like a little, you can see like the line. I got better and better as I went along because you find out what things you need to tweak. Take the butcher paper from in between here. Make sure I pull them all out. I'm just checking to make sure how the color is front and back. The men's shirt, I think, was the only one that kind of messed up in the back a little bit. But it's, what did I do different? This was the only one that had a little discoloration in the back. I don't know if you can really see it that well, but I'm hoping it doesn't show up that bad once I press the back design. And now we're going to do the back, starting with the kid shirt. This is the butcher paper that I use. I'll have it linked down below on Amazon. It's a huge roll, lasts forever. But yeah, so I just cut it off whenever I need it. And this just helps me out so I don't have to keep buying butcher paper. But this roll is just huge and it will last you forever. Okay, so now we're going to do the back. I'm going to put butcher paper on this side to protect this image. Heat press is set at 330. I'm going to put this on the inside. I don't have to pre-press the shirt at all anymore because, of course, the shirt has been pressed so many times already. So this is my first time doing actual sublimation front and back. So I'm praying that this comes out perfect. Okay, so I just want to make sure that my image is going to be completely where the butcher paper is, where I'm going to spray. I just want to make sure that the image is going to be good. And I'm going to have it about right there, which is good. Okay, so that's pretty much centered right there like that. So I want to make sure that my butcher paper is underneath that completely so that way I know where I'm spraying. Okay, and now I'm going to go ahead and start spraying. So again, I'm just doing like an outline of where, because I don't want to waste. So I'm just getting inside. The way my spray bottle squirts out, it uses so much. I hate that it comes out like this. But that's the only way I can get it on. So now I'm gonna go ahead, use that. Press this for 30 seconds. Okay. Back side. Shirt still nice and white. Ooh, baby. Oh, baby, look what happened to the front. Oh my God. That came through. That came through. That came through. Now that didn't happen the first time. Oh my goodness. How did that happen? How did that happen? That literally came through. All right, so I have to figure out how to do the back. So these are all the finished shirts. I ended up doing vinyl on the back. I'm in like such a rush trying to get to the post office, but I ended up doing vinyl on the back. And of course, you know, the vinyl, the color looks much better, but this is the front, how they look. I really was messing up the shirts when I was trying to do double layer. When I was trying to sublimate the back, this is what happened to the front. So I had to start all over again and do the shirts. So because I didn't want to risk messing up any more shirts, I just went ahead and did the vinyl on the back. But that's how you sublimate using the spray. If you like this video, go ahead and like and subscribe for more. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.